Hi, and thank you, the ones who made to the last session. So I see I have been long but inspiring as usual. So I'm Varvara Guljajeva from HKUST CMA. I have actually 2 times my name. Okay, there should be Isaac's name. And Canet Sola from Tallinn University. So we are artists, Varvara and Mar duo, and we have taken kind of our practice, what we have been doing to these AI tools, and we are looking like how through practice-based methodology, like how we have been using these tools, and whether they can be named as automated creativity or other tools for extending minds. So to move further, well, I think all of you have noticed that AI have been kind of booming, and if you look the numbers, they kind of follow this idea, and the growth has been really exponential.
And one thing that you can notice here is that actually the number of papers is so much increased over the last years that it's actually impossible to follow everything that is being published nowadays.
And we really liked this Elena Sarin schema. She published once in Twitter because, well, if you talk about AI, then automatically people think it's like a push button art kind of thing.
Which I will say that nowadays is like in huge amount in push button because of like Midjourney and
this
DALL-E.
We'll talk later on.
Yeah.
But this three-dimensional graph is kind of interesting because you can see that this third dimension is actually ideas, the concept. Unfortunately, we maybe in 20 minutes cannot talk a lot about our concepts behind, just a little bit. But yeah, more it goes, like more you do, more you have your own data, your own algorithm, and your unique ideas, more valuable becomes the artwork.
Yeah, basically there is the axis of own data, and then axis of like algorithms. Like up is like your own algorithm, and here is your own algorithm and your own data. Like this is like depending how much effort you put in the
so there have been like so many models around that we spend quite a lot of time to put this graph together.
Yeah, this graph is our own graph. You can make photos because we took quite a lot of time to make it, to kind of like make it a map of like all innovations and even from which models came which models. Which is a thing important also.
And we focused on, since we worked with text, image, and then translation models, so we mostly focus on text and image. So we didn't think they are not included the sound models, for instance.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the paper, we explain more in detail. So
just one thing, and in very big explanation, like there is the GAN era until here, and then clip release, and then this is the diffusion era. Coming here.
Yeah, we have a slide about this next.
Yeah.
But there's more clearly explained. But here you can see basically the vast development of these models, and also different kind of models, and how they are also interconnected. And how in the paper we also write how kind of key artworks and key artists have been kind of using it and making more known these models, and also, which also sometimes really often triggers the kind of industry interest also. So DALL-E and Midjourney, so you can create this all kind of marvelous images that you won't maybe create on your own in 5 minutes, even not 5 minutes. So we are talking actually about seconds now,
which has democratized the image production in a way. Now, without very little skill, you're able to do very complex images that will require before like a lot of skills, maybe digital skills especially, on many programs and maybe several programs in order to achieve this kind of result.
Mm-hmm. So when trying, actually is nice to talk about DALL-E here, because last ICEA we had this, I don't know who participated, their workshop. It was very kind of active and emotional one. So it's
also first time that DALL-E gave beta access to Europeans, because before only were like Americans having beta access.
Yeah. So yeah, when looking all this very kind of powerful and easy to use, because it has also been going not from like many options, but also from difficult to easy, then as an artist, really this kind of questions pop up that are we talking about automated creativity or and kind of autocomplete, or actually we can use them as a tools for making I don't know, art, or what kind of art we are talking about. So also more briefly, I mentioned here a paradigm or era shift, and you all, I guess, know Aaron Hertzman. Who don't know, he kind of tries to define tried to define the GAN art, and it made sense when the GAN art was kind of a thing, and he writes about the visual indeterminacy. Because it's the image is what GAN was generating, and what was interesting for the artist is that it's between abstract and clear image. So it's, you can see also from the titles, like they are like this artist always often have used terms like hallucinations and dreams and ghosts. So it's all refers to the visual indeterminacy. But now,
which is also connected to the error side of like not being precise, but being a little bit off, but quite in the training set, means that what's what making interest in this image, because there were like outputs that was kind of like interesting, but through the error on like not exactly being in the training set side.
Mm-hmm. So now what we have noticed that we work differently than a few years ago, because it's less about doing data sets. I mean, you still can do, but new models, which are translation models, for instance, especially text to image ones, they really work differently, and the prompt is having more kind of importance rather than the data set curation, what was kind of the main thing for the GAN era.
Which means because the text prompt, what it is a method of latent space navigation, which allows us to enter on the training set, on the weight of the training set, and find new ways of like navigating on the possibility space that these models can generate. That's why it's called generative models, because they can generate a lot of things. And this is another timeline that we did, where actually we more pointed the models that we had used, and actually we intertwined with projects that we did, although in Deep Dream we didn't put the one that we did with Deep Dream, but yeah. Well,
yeah, here you can see, I think, for the main kind of models the artists have been working with, and as you see, we kind of distinguish here two eras, because diffusion models really kind of changed the pipeline, how to work with
but
AI.
to be clear, like
models.
There is two eras now, but doesn't mean that the GANs are over. The GANs are faster iteration to generate, means there's still like a lot of things to be done. One thing that is very interesting is that in the diffusion model started the large models, where the data sets became large.
So we found ourselves too.
Yeah, and the first one who we could see what is in the data set, in the large data set, was Lion, that was like used for stable diffusion, and there is an interface to find what is inside, and you can project your image and find if you are inside, and we projected our image and you can see that you are inside. Actually, we first searched by our names and we didn't find it, but when you project by the image itself, you see with embeddings, it finds if you are inside the training set, which this is an image we had used a lot for our exhibitions.
So although these models are very, very large, it's kind of internet knowledge there, like online knowledge. So whatever is offline, the models, they don't know. So their kind of intelligence is limited what is online. And I think not only we and other artists have been kind of really like testing and probing this, and also expanding this kind of let's say information or the cultural knowledge what is there. So this was a little kind of introduction to creative AI, and now we are going to talk through our artworks, like what we have been kind of in practice trying to understand how this technology works and how it can be used for creative means. And we will talk about the synthetic image, text, and also translation models. Let's start with image-based works. So the first kind of what made to the let's say exhibition. Yeah, we can lower the volume. It's not important here. So we used a ProGAN, and we made 4 different data sets because it's called the plastic land, and we made a data set of landfills, plastic on top of the water, under the water, and the new fossils, what are the plastic agglomerates.
Means we created this like 4 data sets to train an AI model that is a progressive GAN. It's one of the first GANs that existed, and then we produced this image installation where it has the 4 images with the training set of the navigation of the training set in the 4 places where the plastic lands after we use.
So the result what we were getting from the model are the images, and for us as an artist was like, okay, but what we do just with a simple image? So we made the videos, so they are kind of very like jumpy videos, so there is no interpolation, there is no smoothness. You can see how you move from one image to another, and also the idea was to give it certain presence or the form in the space, rather than just having on all on one screen, right?
Yeah, and also the movement of the image is actually the learning process of the model to learn these images. Means that for us was important because at the time we were thinking, well, I mean, like the AI is like is a double knife. It can help to destroy the planet, but can allow to help us to kind of save it. Means what we wanted to do is that an AI learned the problem, and that's what we show. The 4 problems where the plastic lands, and hopefully
they land more. We took,
hopefully we'll learn how to do it.
The next one was our artwork which we did with the StyleGAN 2. Now we can put sound a bit more up, just a little bit.
Can you press the second? There are 2 videos. This one should be also video. And
I can try maybe. Okay, it goes. Okay. So there are 2 different videos which postcard landscapes from Lanzarote 1 and 2. It's a touristic vision and the local vision. And if we can also hear a little bit of
basically
sound.
It's a critical view of tourism, and it's two training sets. One is a training set where all the images of tourists are inside. Like we gather a lot of images of this touristic place called Lanzarote. It's a Canary Island, Spanish island, origin from volcano, and then the second one is basically just pure landscape of the place without human intervention. Means what end up is that the learning from this one is very clean. It will make always like a nice landscapes of Lanzarote. People identify that it's roundish, like because it's volcano place and the kind of rocks and so on. But this is very artifact, and this is actually the mindset of the tourists when they have to see all the island in very little time, and they just like are every day in many places, and they really don't get the place. Like it's the mental mindset.
Yeah, it's a touristic gaze and imaginative geographies. But here, I mean, we don't hear the sound, but what we also did, okay, there was, let's say it's a synthetic, totally synthetic videos, but we invited for the local view, we invited a local sound artist, and Adrian Roth and Tavi Varm did as a tourist, so to say, like we, for another one. But here we achieved this kind of interpolation of images where you can, they become really hypnotic videos. You could just one thing transform to another one. Okay, we have to hurry up. Here was a conceptual kind of thinking behind whether that we go to rather reproduce and produce to this touristic destination. And in the third one, in synthetic scapes of Tartu, we wanted kind of to create our own data set. So we conducted flaneur walks, and from this we extracted the frames. So that's why you can also see that the image is kind of rather similar. And, you know, a creative serendipity. So to say, things happen. We were late, and our music team, they said, okay, we just make a sound piece for the concept we sent to them, and then this video is sound reactive. So before we were giving the videos to the sound artists and asking like, okay, create a sound for it. So this time they said, here's your sound, and do this is something. And we made the video is sound the sound guides the latent space. So it's let's move on. We have really little time. Text-based works. So again, many works are actually during the pandemic time, which made us pushed us into, let's say, online formats, which was nice in the end. And this was a theater piece online where people were talking to Anna. And although it was explicitly said on the website that it's generative bot you are talking to, the people still were kind of figuring out if there is this, we collaborated with Roger Bernard, who is a theater director, if Roger is behind, or at least the actor. And well, it's really a Turing test people were conducting by themselves without asking. But what we did, like, because to talk with chatbot is boring, I guess everyone knows that.
We did in 2020 using Dialog GPT, which is a predecessor of ChatGPT in 2020 during the middle of the pandemic. And actually we did an interface that is similar to the ChatGPT, which is actually done in React, and we allow to one at a time enter and speak, and the other look. And very important is that we managed to make a short span memory with the transformer, with the technical side, and then we add this like stage directions, like in theater, and that enter to the
basically
conversation.
We were guiding the audience, and the audience were guiding the chatbot. That's what was happening. And actually we got pretty meaningful things out of it. So what is maybe more interesting is the translation models, because we did one kind of artwork with speech to image, because we come from interactive art, and we audience interaction is kind of integral part of our concept really often. And here is a dream painter, and I think, oops. Sorry, you have to push play here. Yeah.
And we use here a lot in our some recent works. The Yuri Lotman is a semiotician who talks about the problems of translation. Like when something is not possible to translate, is actually a source of creativity, and that is what is happening a lot now with the text to image models, because it's many problems of translating from text to an image, because it's very difficult to translate. But actually, this is a source of creativity, and that's actually what we did here, where we asked people to share their dreams, and we use a vector-based AI model to interpret the dreams in a sketch. And actually we wrote a paper in SIGGRAPH last year, a long paper. Please check. And actually we are doing now a new paper in the ICCC. Just we got the confirmation that this will be published, that we analyzed the outputs that we did in ACM Multimedia, and we came out with 4 categories, like clear concept, indeterminacy and confusion, lost in translation, and text to text as image. I cannot get into details of it, but that is like a categorization that we found on the outputs.
So the synthetic forms, text to ceramics, we just ask simple question like, can we in the beginning of the process, can we do a form with any AI model? And it was quite difficult actually in the late 21. And here are the results. In the end, we use text to mesh, where we guide with an object and text. Some of it was Sola show last ICEA. Some of you have seen maybe. Here QR code if you want to read more about the process, and we have a few conclusions. We don't have time.
No, but let's do the conclusion fast.
So it's as you saw, it's we are just talking about 3 years, and it's very difficult to pack into 20 minutes, you know. And we have gone from like blurry black and white faces to amazing kind of things that we struggle here all, I think, to describe. I mean, you have seen several talks about this. And what you saw is actually just a glimpse, because this is related to our practice. It was image, video, text, and 3D objects. There are more, but we were covering what we know really deeply. And we applied for that practice-based research methodology, and we investigate possibilities and recent co-creative tools of AI in artistic practice. And as we saw, that the GAN models, they have very kind of specific aesthetics, which is very recognizable, and maybe that's why also artists are moving to the new things.
But in a sense that the AI models, they have their own aesthetics, and also very important is the data set is also an imperial part of this process, and we should look at, because it's also a source of like how to make creative of this, and this research is impact all the mediums like video, image, 3D, and everything.
The last thing, what I think is worth to mention, like talking about methods, what artists using when working with AI tools, deep learning tools, are the curation of data set, fine-tuning the models, making their own models, selecting the outputs, and guiding the neural networks, and providing also interactive interfaces for experiencing the latent space of deep learning. Merci beaucoup for your patience. And now is also Isaac's name. I really apologize before it wasn't.
Bravo, bravo. Merci.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. you.